You have to see it for yourself.
After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Hi, my name is Nacho, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I want us to take a rest from the shit shows we've been getting lately. I want us to drop the negative topics and cleanse our palate with a show that might have flown under the radar for some of you. Silo is a sci-fi drama based on a novel of Hugh Howey called Wool, also adapted to graphic novel format, and tells a story about a silo full of people that live isolated from a seemingly barren outside world. There's a lot of rules that regulate life in this silo where almost 10,000 people live, but there's one rule that starts the whole thing. If you say you want to go outside, you can't take it back. Throughout the series, we follow the story of Juliette Nichols, played by Rebecca Ferguson, a very talented engineer from the lower levels of the silo who one day is informed that the previous sheriff, who was sent out to clean, has appointed her to take his position. Once there, she begins investigating the suspicious suicide of her love interest and becomes involved in a much dangerous game, where the truth about the silo and the people who have control over it starts to unfold in front of her, and she begins to realize that there's more to why the life of the silo is how it is than anyone knows about. This show first came to my attention after I saw this trailer, and I immediately related it to the game Frostpunk. Despite not having many similarities except for the generator that keeps everyone alive and the world-ending event that put them all in that situation in the first place, the show hooks you with a plethora of unfolding events that make you question what's really going on inside the silo, and what really happened to the world outside. Since we're comparing games here, I also find it extremely similar to the Vault concept from the Fallout series, in which, after the world ended via nuclear holocaust, as if, right? Couldn't be us, right? Anyways, after the world ended, the company Vault-Tec created vaults to keep humanity safe from extinction, but in reality, these vaults served as experiment chambers where humans became test subjects for the people in control. Now, in Silo, this is not fully revealed to be the case. I'm probably gonna have to read the books to find out that, but I was attracted by the post-apocalyptic theme, and frankly, this show is awesome. The writing is great, the sets are practical and look super steampunky, the cast is packed with talent like Rashida Jones, Tim Robbins, Will Patton, Common, who kinda grew on me like the bad guy in the shadows, Ian Glenn, and Rebecca Ferguson all give an amazing performance that keeps you wanting to know what will happen next. Unlike other shows, I'd say that the story is rather faithfully adapted, with elements added to it to give the show a more dramatic flow. But because of what I saw in the graphic novel, I said that they keep the story pretty close to the source material, as well as the majority of the characters, which is not something I say a lot nowadays.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Now, don't expect this to be a high explosive, bolt blazing, tits flying show like The Witcher. This is only season 1, which serves more like an introduction for what's to come, and they've revealed that the show has already been renewed for a second season and that the scripts are already finished and reviewed by Ferguson before the writer's strike. I won't go into too much detail with each episode because there's 10 of them and each one is an hour long, so I highly recommend you watch it for yourself. I'm probably gonna rewatch it to see the things that I missed now that I know more about the story. But this is where I put the spoilers ahead sound. If you haven't watched the show, go and do that now because I'm going to talk about what happens after episode 10. Okay? Okay, go, I'll wait. Okay, so after Nichols is caught by Holland and Sims, she's sent out to clean, but before that, she discovers that the tape used to isolate the protective suit is made to be flawed in order to expose the person that's being sent out to, and this is me theory-crafting, the radioactive air, which is what happened to Sheriff Holston and Allison. She mentions this to her friend Walker from Mechanical, who goes outside her apartment for the first time in 25 years and has a chat with the lady that runs the supply department and questions her about the tape. This is very important. But Nacho, you may ask, the air outside is clean, the birds are flying, the display of the silo is a lie, she said that herself. This is where the show actually blows your mind in episode 10. The display is a lie that Jules is referring to is the display inside the suit's helmet. The world outside is destroyed and the images we see from the cleanings are fake. They are generated and projected into the helmet, and the suits are made to fail to give the people who are being sent out a sense of bliss, which forces them to clean the camera and die soon after before going over the hill. So when Jules refuses to clean, that alerts Holland that she discovered the truth. Her suit was made with the proper materials, that's why they are good in supply, and that allows her to go over the hill, revealing that her silo is not the only silo and that everyone's being lied to. In the end, Holland rushes to a room and reveals a key that says 18 because that's the number of the silo they are in. And I believe he goes into the radio room that connects to the other silos and to the people running them in secret. the show ends with Jules walking into the wasteland and setting up for season 2. So this is where I went into the graphic novel to learn what happens next, and I'm only gonna share a little bit because I don't want to spoil the events of the next season for all of you non-readers. The world ended and the people responsible for it are the same people who built the silos. The diggers that George showed Jules before he died were the ones used to dig the holes for the silos and later buried under mechanical and flooded so people wouldn't learn the truth. Also, I believe that under the water are the bodies of the people who originally built the silos and were killed by the people running IT to keep the secret. There's a total of 50 silos across the land, with 47 of them still operational. After leaving 18, Jules walks to silo number 17, where she finds a field of corpses in the entrance, revealing that there was an apparent uprising and everyone went through the gate into their death. That's where I'm going to stop. There's a lot happening afterwards which I won't reveal, so we all gonna have to wait patiently until season 2.
It's for your own good.
I really like this show. It gets a bit slow here and there, but that's probably because of the week-to-week release, which I'm surprisingly not used to anymore. There are some girl boss moments like the heat pipe water segment that went a little bit too long if you ask me, but I found Nichols to be a very likable lead. It's honestly a very refreshing show. It touches on very cool topics like the illusion of a fair government and that the people actually in control are the ones working in the shadows without anyone knowing. Topics of social justice like the working class of mechanical being literally looked down upon by the people in the upper levels. I would have liked them to expand a little bit more about the relics and why old world objects like the pill dispensers pose such a threat. And in case you didn't know, the syndrome that some people suffer, like Billings, could be caused by vitamin D deficiency, which has as a symptom tremors. But overall, it's a great show. I highly recommend you watch it. It streams on Apple TV or other websites, if you know what I mean. But if you watched this far into the video, leave us a like. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite post-apocalyptic film or show 28 days later. And as always, I've been Nacho. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.